headlines at this hour on VTV News. Minister of Industry and Trade fields questions at a National Assembly sitting. And ASEAN custom leaders discuss custom cooperation. In our world news, U.S. urges UN Security Council to support Gaza's ceasefire plan.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. Minister of Industry and Trade Nguyễn Hồng Diên was the second minister to answer questions from the National Assembly on Tuesday. Now, issues of particular attention were the management, supervision, and protection of consumer rights in e-commerce activities, solutions to boost exports, promote the implementation of free trade agreements, and develop supporting industries.
In recent times, social networks have been abuzz with live stream sales on social media, with revenues reaching hundreds of billions VND a day. How will you ensure the quality of products on e-commerce platforms?
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has been proactively advising the government and the National Assembly to promulgate a consumer protection law in 2023 and to approve a plan to combat counterfeiting in e-commerce. Additionally, the Ministry is advising the government on policies regarding the management of transactional information for imported and exported goods in e-commerce.
During the Q&A session, the deputies pursued the problem resolutely, and the minister also responded frankly and proposed solutions.
Sales channels on e-commerce platforms that have been identified are relatively easy to manage. However, live streaming sales on social media by individuals is a current concern. With this form of e-commerce sales, how can we ensure the protection of consumers' rights?
Managing this activity isn't only the responsibility of the Ministry of Industry and Trade but also involves other ministries, including the Ministry of Information and Communications and the Ministry of Finance. The most effective solution is for the ministry to bolster coordination with relevant agencies to inspect, control, and address violations. This includes exchanging information with functional agencies to promptly handle violations and prevent tax losses.
The Ministry of Finance has been proactive in directing the tax collection of e-commerce platforms. As of now, foreign e-commerce service providers registered in Vietnam, including Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and TikTok, have contributed over $613 million in taxes. Looking ahead, we are committed to further advancing the synchronized implementation of tax collection on e-commerce platforms.
At the Q&A session, solutions for developing supporting industries were a top concern among many deputies.
Supporting industries seem to be the right direction to restructure and develop national industry. In the coming time, what plans will the ministry have to introduce a comprehensive and inclusive industrial development policy?
The ministry has advised competent authorities to promulgate regulations and solutions, which have yielded specific results. However, the FDI attraction policy has not yet effectively encouraged FDI enterprises to increase their spillover effects on domestic enterprises. In the coming period, the ministry will continue to advise on the synchronous improvement of policies. This includes researching and developing a law to boost the development of key industries such as mechanical, manufacturing, electrical, chemical, and energy processing industries.
The Minister of Industry and Trade will continue to respond to the deputies' topics of concern on Wednesday.
Top party investigation officials from Vietnam and Laos reaffirmed their commitment to closer collaboration during talks held in Hanoi on June 4th. Trần Cẩm Tú is the head of the Party Central Committee's Investigation Commission and deputy head of the Central Steering Committee for Prevention and Control of Corruption and Negative Phenomena. He informed the guests about the socio-economic situation in Vietnam and party investigation work, with a focus on anti-corruption efforts. He also noted that the investigation commission has thoroughly dealt with complex and prolonged cases and strictly disciplined party organizations and members involved in corrupt practices, affirming the party's consistent stance against corruption. Khampham Phomatat, who is head of the Party Central Committee's Inspection Commission and the Central Anti-Corruption Commission of Laos and president of the Laos State Investigation Authority, briefed the host about Laos' efforts in combating corruption, the handling of public complaints and denunciation, as well as its collaboration with several ASEAN countries in the field. Now, in the coming time, Laos will intensify investigations and make public the results of the work to foster public trust. He also affirmed a commitment to continue close collaboration with the Vietnamese side through the exchange of delegations at all levels and training opportunities for Lao officials in Vietnam. The ASEAN Customs Departments are committed to strengthening cooperation to further streamline ASEAN's common goods market and production base. This effort also seeks to serve the interests of a community comprising nearly 700 million people, while contributing to the strengthening of the ASEAN economic community and fostering integration into the global economy. These key topics were highlighted at the 33rd ASEAN Customs Directors General Meeting, which was hosted by the General Department of Vietnam Customs on Tuesday in Phu Quoc, Kiên Giang.
The Directors General of ASEAN Customs discussed orientations to continue implementing the ASEAN Harmonized Tariff Nomenclature, the ASEAN Single Window, the ASEAN Customs Transit System, the Mutual Recognition Arrangement, MRA, on authorized economic operators, AEO, within ASEAN countries and cooperative initiatives to combat smuggling and trade fraud across the ASEAN region.
ASEAN customs departments will focus on exchanging and sharing experiences, especially customs techniques to promote and facilitate trade activities and streamline the flow of goods between ASEAN countries and the world market.
ASEAN as a region is very highly dependent on trade. Today, trade is about $3.8 trillion in ASEAN. We are one of the largest trading regions in the world.
The meeting also witnessed the participation of ASEAN partners, including customs agencies from China, Japan, South Korea, the Australian Border Force, the US ASEAN Business Council, and the EU ASEAN Business Council. Their involvement provided valuable consultations to further facilitate import and export activities across the region.
We also work with customs to try and help you make sure that you are working smart, understanding business interests, and work with you to help tackle things like illicit trade.
At the meeting, Vietnam Customs proactively proposed initiatives on green customs and enhancing connectivity and information sharing on customs control for ASEAN customs to consider implementing in the next phase.
Now, in the first 5 months of the year, the export turnover of agricultural, forestry, and fishery products increased by more than 20%, reaching over $24 billion. This is an impressive figure, and it shows the growth of most key industries. The average export price of many agricultural products has increased from 20 to 50% compared to the same period last year. Typically, black pepper has an average export price of $4,308 per ton, an increase of nearly 40%. Coffee has an average export price of $3,480 per ton, an increase of nearly 50%. Rubber price reached $1,504 per ton, an increase of 8.8%. 5% of broken rice price average of $638 per ton, an increase of 20.5%. Vietnamese agricultural products are of good quality. However, if marketing is ineffective, increasing export value will be difficult. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, many Vietnamese agricultural products are highly competitive internationally. But how they stand out is worth discussing and needs to be changed soon.
According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the export market's distribution system is diverse, including supermarkets, agricultural markets, grocery stores, and e-commerce. Vietnamese agricultural products suit international consumers' tastes, but are not prominent on the shelves. This results from individual trade promotion activities that do not represent the national brand.
Bản thân cả doanh nghiệp nữa, The coordination between associations, states, enterprises, and representative agencies has not been effective. Large fairs that need a national profile are being treated individually and lack coordination.
The coordination between Ministries of Agriculture, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Industry and Trade needs to be more effective. Trade promotion to put Vietnamese agricultural product to supermarket is vital. In the future, the three ministries will coordinate more closely to deeply understand the market needs.
Proposals to facilitate the consumption of exported agricultural products include promoting trade, optimizing specialized logistics models, and applying new technologies to help prolong fruit shelf life.
Surging export prices have led to higher purchase prices for domestic agricultural products. Global demand for Vietnamese agricultural products is expected to continue rising. Now, this presents numerous opportunities and challenges for farmers and businesses in meeting increasingly stringent requirements. Pepper prices set a new record high on Monday in key pepper growing regions nationwide. An increase of 20 to 50 cents per kilogram was recorded. This is the highest daily rise in many years, pushing purchase prices of pepper to $5.4 to $5.6 per kilo. In addition, rice and coffee have also seen a price surge since the beginning of the year. These are mainly due to potential global supply shortages.
Adverse weather has reduced the supply of coffee and cocoa by 10% or more. Agricultural products are seasonal, so it's hard to boost supply immediately. Therefore, even without further increases, I believe agricultural prices will remain high until the end of the second quarter.
Although production has decreased, export value has increased, indicating a shift from quantity to quality. In the past 5 months, coffee exports totaled 833,000 tons. This is a 3.9% decrease in volume, but a 44% increase in value. According to experts, Vietnam has an export advantage in the second half of the year. Improving quality is a key to capitalizing on this advantage.
Some limitations exist for Vietnamese fruit and vegetables, such as product quality and monitoring of cultivation, processing, and preservation quality, and compliance with regulation of importing countries, all aim to boost product quality.
I believe there will be more Vietnamese products, especially agricultural ones, in the American markets in the coming time.
According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam will continue negotiating, signing, and upgrading of free trade agreements to take advantage of tariff incentives. This aims to create competitive advantages and encourage businesses to diversify products and supply chains. Coming up next on VTV News. Vietnam secures results in fighting desertification. And efforts made to treat waste in Cô Tô Island. Welcome back to VTV News. Now, following the Prime Minister's directive on a stringent control of production and distribution costs to reduce textbook prices, in line with recommendations in a resolution at 686 of the National Assembly Standing Committee, publishers have lowered textbook prices. The Vietnam Education Publishing House currently holds more than 70% of the market share. In this new school year, the Connecting Knowledge to Life set of textbooks has decreased in price by 9.6%, while the Creative Horizon set has seen an 11.2% reduction. To achieve these price reductions, all stages of production have been scrutinized, particularly focusing on the costs associated with organizing manuscripts and circulation. Notably, English textbooks, the most expensive due to foreign copyrights, have also witnessed a 30% discount. Ho Chi Minh City Metro Line 1 Bến Thành Suối Tiên Metro route is now in the final stages of evaluating system safety for certification. This step is crucial in determining the safety level of the project, especially when transporting passengers in large volumes. 9 months ago, the BVT joint venture was tasked with conducting the safety evaluation for Metro Line No. 1. As of late May, this unit has been actively involved in witnessing actual field tests to ensure that safety functions perform correctly. In October, as Metro Line No. 1 enters the trial run phase, the unit will assess the readiness and proficiency of the operating staff. To facilitate the evaluation work, the Management Board of Ho Chi Minh City Urban Railway Projects has collaborated closely with contractors to ensure their participation in various stages of the project's construction. This year's World Environmental Day, June 5th, is themed Land Restoration, Desertification, and Drought Resilience, aiming to appeal to countries around the globe to cooperate in restoring and conserving land, preventing desertification, and improving drought resilience to slow down the climate change process and protect nature while improving livelihoods and food security for billions of people worldwide. A desert area in Vietnam is a vanishingly small possibility, thanks to the implementation of fundamental and strategic land protection measures, such as afforestation, along with reasonable farming and land use, in which land users' rights and obligations are properly handled. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said Vietnam has gained significant achievements in desertification prevention, with forest coverage at a modest 27.8% in 1993. The rate has increased to 42% at present, compared to the world average of 31%. In 2023, the World Bank for the first time paid $51.5 million for Vietnam's forest carbon credits, a reward for the country's efforts in protecting and developing forests and combating land degradation in the north-central region. This turned Vietnam into the first in East Asia and the Pacific to receive a payment for emission reductions from the World Bank's Forest Carbon Partnership Facility. As a leading tourist destination, Cô Tô Island is facing an increasing amount of waste from the ocean, daily life, and tourism activities. In order to develop tourism as a key economic sector, the local authorities and citizens are making efforts to treat waste and find solutions to reduce environmental pollution on the island.
Plastic bottles, nylon bags, and algae flood Hong Van Beach after each monsoon. Consisting of more than 70 islands and small cays, Cô Tô Island regularly suffers from this type of waste.
We clean up the beach every week by picking up plastic waste that has washed up here. We gather every day so everyone here can clean up together.
In addition to ocean waste, Cô Tô Island has to process 12 to 15 tons of household waste every day. During the peak tourist season, the amount of waste reaches 25 to 30 tons per day. Since July 2020, Cô Tô Island has put this negative pressure incinerator system into operation.
The island has a lot of seafood, which is very difficult to handle. We have a solution to classify and collect products that can be recycled or reused, and products that can be used as souvenirs including snail shells and seashells.
The most challenging problem is that fuel and labor costs on the island are 1.5 to 2 times higher than on the mainland, and waste treatment equipment is quickly damaged due to the effects of salt from the sea. Therefore, waste classification source is an important step to reduce treatment costs and landfill area.
The Plastic Waste-Free Ko To Island project has raised awareness among residents and tourists when coming to Ko To. They will not to use hard-to-decompose plastic bags and disposable plastic items on the island. In the future, we will focus on sorting waste at the source.
In 2023, some rare animals such as sea turtles, dolphins, and whales returned to Ko To Island after many years of absence. The marine environment is regenerated, contributing to the development of the island towards green economy.
The Michelin Guides, a series of guidebooks that have been published by the French tire company Michelin since 1900, have offered some suggestions for tourists looking to explore Vietnam's capital in 48 hours. Discovering the best places to eat, stay, exploring the picturesque French Quarter, as well as immersing oneself in world-class cuisine, charming parks, and captivating historical sites are among the most interesting things visitors can do in Hanoi, according to the guide. The first day offers travelers a prime opportunity to explore the area's various traditions and history. Opting for a classic egg coffee and a hot bowl of pho are among the list of things to do to start the day in Hanoi. The article wrote that the vibrant Vietnamese capital is a dynamic blend of history, culture, and modern flair. The bustling streets teem with motorbikes and street vendors, while tranquil lakes and ancient temples offer peaceful escapes. Coming up next in our world news. U.S. urges UN Security Council to support Gaza ceasefire plan. And recent study shows that TikTok fails disinformation test before EU vote. Now moving on to our world news, the U.S. has submitted a new draft resolution to the United Nations Security Council, calling on countries to support a new ceasefire proposal between Israel and Hamas. Earlier, the G7 issued a statement expressing a support and agreement with the peace plan proposed by U.S. President Joe Biden. However, the UN Security Council has not yet planned to vote on the draft. The U.S. and G7 countries are currently urging negotiators in the Middle East to convince Hamas to accept the three-phase plan announced by President Joe Biden. With the European parliamentary elections fast approaching amid threats of disinformation, Global Witness decided to test how social media platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, treat disinformation. For each platform, they submitted 16 advertisements targeted to Ireland containing false information that could pose a risk to electoral processes, including warnings to voters to stay home over a danger of poll violence and a spike in contagious diseases. X halted all the ads and suspended the account due to a policy violation. YouTube rejected all but 2 of the ads, but TikTok approved every single ad for publication. The failure to detect the ads comes as tech campaigners implored platforms to address growing concerns over a deluge of disinformation plaguing elections worldwide. Following Daihatsu, a series of major Japanese automakers continue to be involved in a safety test scandal. According to the Japanese Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, 4 automakers, Toyota, Mazda, Suzuki, and Honda, and Yamada Motor, have admitted to irregularities in government safety inspection records for some vehicle models. The ministry has asked Toyota, Mazda, and Yamaha to temporarily suspend production of some models until they confirm that they meet quality standards. Toyota has 8 models found to have irregularities in their records. Mazda has 5 models, Honda has 22 models, Suzuki has 1 model, and Yamaha has 4 models, including discontinued models. The University of Miami features the world's only hurricane simulator able to generate Category 5 hurricane force winds, a model that will help researchers solve some of the mysteries of storms and impacts of rising sea levels. More in the following.
Researchers at the University of Miami's Rosenstiel School of Atmospheric Sciences are utilizing the world's most powerful hurricane simulation tank to study the impact of Category 5 hurricanes on coastal regions. The tank, built in 2014, is the only one capable of generating such intense hurricane winds. Payson Tan, a fifth-year PhD candidate, explains the importance of this research.
We are at a coastal area where hurricane frequently pays a visit. So in this lab, we can simulate how much, for example, pressure or damage the hurricane can do to our coastlines. You can put models in here to see, how will hurricanes damage our houses? How can we maintain our coastline better and prevent such damage?
Dr. Brian House, director of the Sustain Lab, expressed concern over rising ocean temperatures already being felt before the summer season.
And we're seeing water temperatures that are warmer than has ever been recorded, and consistently several degrees warmer. The really warm water has an amplifying effect on the storms that do develop, and so they're able to get more energy to power them. They're more likely to intensify the warmer the water is. And so it's really a scary time for looking at this coming fall, for sure.
The ongoing research at the University of Miami continues to develop strategies to protect coastal regions from the increasing threat of powerful hurricanes.
Now let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTV Go or check out our YouTube channel VTV for Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.